Hello, listeners. Today we're talking with Steve Price, the owner of I'd Smoke That BBQ, where he makes smoked gourmet popcorn. Steve, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
How did you get started in this business?
We're in Tucson, Arizona. We started about a little over a year ago. We started the business. I started with jerky, never went through with that, but then I started with nuts and then just carried on. I wanted to do more things. Everything I do is smoked. So I cook everything on my smokers. Popcorn side, I cold smoke the sugars. I cold smoke my butters for the ingredients. So everything I use for my popcorn has some type of smoked ingredient in it. I feel it gives me that little twist of popcorn, I guess. The new generation of popcorn, let's say.
Yeah, for sure. You're definitely doing it different. That's awesome. I love it. It's just so thinking outside the box. So explain a little bit more. So you take the ingredients. So say you're making like kettle corn, you smoke the sugars and the
So I
kernels too,
cold
or
smoke
the oils?
yep, I cold smoke the sugar. Let's say I do like my sriracha kettle. So I'll use cold smoked sugar. I'll do it in my 60 quart pot. And then once I'm done, I'll dust it with some sriracha powder. And then that's where you get that kick from. And just
That's
all my other funky flavors like my barbecue ribs, teriyaki, anything like that, barbecue base. I always used cold smoked sugar. My cheddars are all cold smoked butters. So I add that into my cheddars.
very cool. So, for some of our listeners who may not know what cold smoking is, what exactly is that?
So cold smoke is smoking without heat. You initially pack full of smoke tube full of wood or pellets. The easiest way to explain it is it acts like a cigarette. So once you light it, you get those ambers going and you just blow on it and then it'll just slowly work its way down, kind of like a cigarette. So if you just let a cigarette burn, there's no flame, but it will just burn itself out. So it does the same thing with the wood and the smoke tube. So
Gotcha.
the sugar or butter never sees flame heat, and that's how it goes. I usually cold smoke it for about 8 hours.
Wow. Awesome. Okay, very cool. So you use mushroom kernels or butterfly kernels?
I do use mushroom.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. When I saw, when I check out your Instagram page, there's always some nice big kernel. So it always
Yeah,
looks really
yeah,
good.
I love those.
I guess let me ask this first. What flavors do you make? And then,
Oh,
what's your
geez.
favorite?
I probably have about 35 different flavors now. My go-to is probably my white cheddar. I make what it's called an Arizona sugar. I use a barbecue seasoning that I have, and then I make it into a kettle, and I just add that to it. Kind of gives it a little sweet and a little peppery ending. The newer ones that I'm doing now, I kind of like to do in little layers. I introduced a prickly pear lemonade just last week. I haven't added it to the website yet or the Instagram, but it's a fruit native to Arizona. It comes off of one of our cactuses. So I found some sugar, introduced it with some lemonade, and it has different layers. It's crazy. It's hard to explain, but it's a huge hit.
It sounds really cool. I love that you're doing like local things too from like,
Yes,
where you originate. That's awesome.
right.
I saw you have a maple kettle with bacon and the maple sriracha. Those sound awesome.
Those are one of my new ones as well. Yeah, same thing. I'll use actually cold smoke those sugars, the floss sugars or the glazed sugars. I'll cold smoke those to give it that smoky flavor as well. So I'll cold smoke the maple sugar and then I'll just add sriracha powder or baking powder. And that's how I get those.
Nice. And
But the
I've
flavors are endless. I mean, you just come
yeah,
up with one and it just snowballs into others. So it's crazy. And I really
that's
love
so
doing it.
that's so awesome. I bet you have quite a large following because I think what you're doing is very special.
We do. It's awesome. I really love it.
That's cool. I saw a white chocolate cookies and cream. How do you make something like that? Is it like you drizzle it with chocolate or how do you
So
is
I'll
that
I'll do the I'll melt. I'll just make a regular pot of popcorn, and then I'll use I'll melt white chocolate, mix it all up, and then I'll smash cookies and other cool things, and just add it all together, and that comes out. That's one of our most popular ones as well.
that one sounds amazing. I saw that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'd like definitely like to try that. It sounds really good. Nice. So what kind of equipment are you using? Like a kettle corn popper, like a theater style? How do you pop
Just
your
depending
corn?
on what size of orders I have to do, I have a big 60 quart out back that I use probably more than anything. I also have a 12-ounce movie theater popcorn machine in my kitchen. And then I also use a Whirly Pop for the really small orders.
Oh, you use a whirly pop. Okay, that's pretty cool. How do you
Yeah,
find that that works? That works really well?
it did actually does work really well when I just need a small order. I don't need to make too much. So yeah, the Whirly Pots work great.
Nice. Easy cleanup too,
Very
compared to,
easy.
the
Yep.
theater's nice if you're popping a bunch, but
Yeah.
that's cool. The cleanup on that can be a little, a little bit more, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
I see your, like your pictures and that kind of thing. And you have this awesome packaging, like your bags, and you have your logo on there. And I saw you kind of have like, is it two brands? You have like Steve's popcorn, right? Or
I do
Steve's.
Steve's Gourmet Popcorn and then Steve's Gourmet Nuts.
Nice.
Steve's
Okay.
Smoked Nuts. I'm sorry.
Steve's. Nice. So the bags that you use, those are like sealable and then heat sealable. Is that what you
Yep,
do? You
they're
heat.
resealable and I heat seal them for shipping and for all my events. They're all sealed. I put oxygen things in there so that it sucks out all the oxygen and keep it a little fresher, a little longer.
Nice. That's awesome. Now, I've never seen that before. Are those like packets you buy, or what?
Yeah, it's
How do
those little
you?
things that you see and that you get in like snacks that says do not eat.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just sucks the oxygen out of the bag to try to keep it a little fresher.
Nice. I bet the shelf life on those are probably pretty long.
It's about 5 to 6 weeks for most. Yeah.
Awesome. And those custom printed for you, or those off the
No, I
shelf?
do it all myself. Everything is done at home. We're still a little small, dinky business. Got to do everything at home still.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. That's great. I love that. And they look so professional. Your setup looks amazing. I love,
Thank
the
you.
different displays you have, and you have like those wooden shelves on your table and like those step shelves and things, and it looks really good. So you make gourmet popcorn, the smoked gourmet popcorn, of course. You
Uh huh.
said you do smoked nuts. I've
Uh
seen
huh.
pictures of those too. And you said you did do jerky, or you still
I
do
started
jerky?
with jerky. That's a whole different license, whole different beast. Wasn't really cost effective, so I kind of went away from that and just stuck with popcorn, nuts, and then I do like sauces. I cold smoke honeys, and then I did make like a honey sriracha. I make a bunch of barbecue seasonings. I'm gonna start doing sunflower seeds and barbecue sauces soon.
Oh, very cool. So you smoke honey. Is that what you
hmm
just said?
hmm
Wow. I've never seen that before. So,
That's what I love about this. It's like I just tapped in a brand new vein and I'm just running with it and seeing how far I could run with it. Once I started this, smoke sticks to everything. I started with salts and then I did the honeys and it just gives it its unique flavor. It's not overpowering, like just kill you with smoke. It just gives it a unique little flavor. It doesn't sometimes you can't even pick up on the smoke flavor.
so amazing, so creative, so thoughtful. I mean, definitely a league of your own.
I appreciate
Amazing, really
that.
cool stuff. So I see you're very active. You're always at different events and things. So where do you mostly sell your popcorn?
I'm in a few local stores around town. I'm in about 5 businesses. We go to a lot of breweries, a lot of farmers markets, pop-up events, and that's the majority. But we just try to keep our stores that we have filled until I get some more stores going.
So how do you like? What's the process of trying to get into a store? What do you? How
A
do you?
lot of them actually found me. They came to either a pop up or a farmer's market and they sampled my stuff and then they just kept in touch and they wanted me in their businesses. So I do try to go to a few local businesses that I know that like to support small businesses. I bring them usually a big bag of samples, let them try them all, and hopefully they say yay.
Nice, very cool. Now, when you stock those, do you I'll just give an example. Bring 20 bags, and then the next time you go, there's only 10 left, so you charge them for the 10, or how do you do? Or do they
No,
just
some
buy
of
a whole
them,
bunch wholesale?
a few buy wholesale. I do have a wholesale list, and then a couple of other businesses I'm just on consignment. So I just pay for a spot in their store, and I just bring in what I want whenever I want, and I just keep it full. And then they take a little percentage of my sales, but it helps me get my name out big time for sure.
Absolutely. That's really cool. That's smart and really, really awesome that you're expanding. I feel like every time I see an update, it's like, oh, we're in a new store. I think the one time I saw you, and was it your grandson or were
Yep,
you?
and my grandson,
Yeah,
yeah,
front of the store. Yeah, that
yeah.
was awesome. Very cool. Awesome. So do you pop live, or you bring your stuff prepackaged? You pop at home and bring your stuff already packaged?
Everything I do is at home, and then I bring it with us.
Much easier to do that, I think. You don't have
Yeah.
to haul all your equipment around and stuff, for sure.
Hopefully, in a year or two, I could get a kettle and a trailer and hit up the fairs and whatnot.
That's definitely a goal. That's, I always keep my eye out for things like that too, like a food trailer or, trailer of
Yeah.
some kind. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So, Steve, what would you tell somebody who's just trying to start out in making gourmet popcorn? Like, do you have any advice for them? Something you've learned along the way?
If you're even interested in doing it, just do it. I was so afraid to even start this venture, but like I said, I started following you. You gave me some great advice. I rolled with that and I started getting the hang of it all. But once you start coming up with your own flavors, it's like I said, it's just a big snowball effect. And the flavors are endless. It's like 31 flavors. They just keep coming.
It's awesome. Very cool. So tell the listeners where they can find you online. You have a store too, right? Online where folks can order
We do have a
your
website,
products.
yeah. It's www.I'dsmoke.that-barbecue.com. And that will be the website.
www.I'dsmoke.that-barbecue.com.
Yep.
BBQ.com.
Yep.
Awesome. We'll
Or
have
go to
links.
or my Facebook or Instagram is I'd Smoke That BBQ. Just one word. That'll take you right to my website as well.
Perfect. What's your social media channel of choice? Like, what are you mostly active on?
I'm mostly active on Instagram and Facebook, but majority is Instagram.
Okay, awesome. And we'll definitely put all the links so folks will be able to get a hold of you down in the show notes of this
Awesome.
episode. And yeah, it's really cool. Steve, it's been awesome talking with you. I know you're super busy, so I really appreciate you making the time to meet and talk. I love what you're doing. So creative, just something so different. I haven't seen anyone out there doing what you're doing. So keep up the
I
great
really
work. It's
appreciate
really
that.
awesome. Yeah.
And it's great talking with you, man. It's like talking to my little celebrity.
I
I wanted to get with
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you so much, Steve. Thanks again for joining me today. Really appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
man. Thank you so much.